Alright, you guys are here with Before There Was Rosalyn.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's us, dude.
You guys were sick tonight. Just want to start out by saying that.
Thank
I know
you.
your name is based off of like a Romeo and Juliet, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you guys form? I like to ask that always. I know some people have cool stories of how they met the other band members. I know you said like that's not all the OG members and stuff, but how did you meet the people that are in the band currently?
All right, so Trent and I have been, and this is my best friend. We've known each other. When did we meet? What year was
2006.
it? 2006, right? So the band sort of existed before then. I like to pretend it didn't.
Yeah.
But no, so I'll make this brief. In the winter of 2004, I tried out for what would eventually become this band, and I met these dudes, and I came out and had my own PA and like did the vocals, and they're like cool. But we didn't really do a whole lot for that first year. We played some local shows. I think we, like I said, we formed in December. We played our first show in March, and then we played several shows. And in 2006, we're playing like this kind of big local show in Houston.
Yeah.
From bands that I'm gonna shout out because I love them. With like The Last Starfighter, Jean Benet, who actually signed to Pluto, and Trent is actually. A mutual friend of ours was trying to get him to join our band. He like sent him a message like, hey, this band needs a second guitar player.
Yeah.
You should try out. And here's how much effort Trent put into that. He goes, oh, they practiced 30 minutes for me? No way, man. That's way too far. And that was literally his answer, right? But then somehow somebody talked him into going to the show. And I remember
Armani gave me a ticket.
That's right. So what he means Armani is
I had a ticket
yeah.
to show that they were playing.
That's right. So what he means is our drummer, who had been in a previous band with Trent, was trying to get him to come out as well, and that's where he got the ticket. So meeting Trent for the first time was honestly like being on a blind date. Like I knew he was there to see if we were the right fit.
Yeah.
You know. And I remember we played the set, and we did our thing, and then we're standing outside of the venue. And I'm trying to kind of gauge like, what he thinks. And I'm like, oh, what do you think of it, right? And he's got like the stoic face, and he's like, and he still talks to me this way, by the way. And he's like, it was cool. and I was like, I feel like I'm pouring my heart out right now, bro. Like, what's the deal? Like, are you gonna join the band? And he goes, yeah, I'll think about it. And then he did. He joined the band. That was 2006. So we've been
joined the band through an IM message, right?
No, he joined. He pretty much told me that night, like I'm gonna join.
I thought it was through AOL.
No, we had talked. I had tried to talk to him through AOL. Through AOL, when I was like, "Yo, do you want to come try out?" And he's like, "No, you guys live too far." That was that.
It was an hour. They were practicing an hour away from where I lived.
That's true. I did exaggerate that, right?
It's
So
tough when you're an 18-year-old.
if you know anything about Houston, it's like Houston is an hour away from Houston.
Yeah,
right.
it's a
So
big
that was
city,
the thing is that we lived on the south side and whatever, right? So he says, "Yeah, I'll join." Unenthusiastic, almost like a chore.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm gonna play music with you and be your best friend for the next 30 years. So that's how we met. And then so we did that for a few years. We had a pretty consistent lineup for a bit. But things happen, and none of it is any sort of bad blood. It's just like people like find other things they're passionate about, or people join a band and not really realizing the amount of work it's gonna take. And they're like, oh, I like this aspect of it, but not that aspect of it. And during those times, is when we met Andrew and Chris separately. Andrew was in several bands back home.
Yeah.
And you can, if you want.
No, like a couple small Houston bands that, I just moved to Houston and my friends hooked me up with the music scene.
Yeah.
And we started playing shows at the same venues. There was a venue in Houston called Java Jazz, and so all our
which we miss to this day.
We really do. Like, pour one out for Java Jazz.
Yeah.
That was what made the Houston music scene. And so playing a couple bands there, we crossed paths a lot. And then I just got to seeing Trent and Carlos a lot at these shows. And eventually, just after kind of latching onto them and just kind of hitting it off, they started bringing me around on some of their tours for merch.
Yeah.
So I just started going on tour just because it was fun to do.
Yeah, and you're building a relationship, with the guys.
And I wasn't playing music with them at all, but I was still up.
I didn't know you could play an instrument.
The culture.
And then when I figured that out, I was like,
that was much later.
We're gonna put that to use.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing he didn't mention is that he was a vocalist for like two other bands that we played with. I didn't realize that he could play an instrument. So he came on tour with us a few times as like our merch guy, and really just all around like hangout dude. You know, like we loved him, and we always needed that extra body to like help us do things. And then, you know, much later, when, you know, again, like somebody else was leaving or whatever, we were like, the one thing that like Trent and I were really big on is like, dude, we don't want to have any tryouts for anybody. Like we have to have people that like know us, that it's a natural fit. And then as soon as I found that Andrew could play guitar or bass, I was like, yeah, you're just going to join the band.
You called me and asked me. You didn't even know. You just called me and said, is there any chance that you know how to play guitar? Yeah, that's one of the things that I do.
But I think it got to the point where we just wanted to have people that we wanted to be around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Give them the family.
Yeah. And so Chris, and like I said, I don't want to speak for you, but Chris was also in a couple of different bands that we toured with.
Yeah.
And we obviously knew that he could play an instrument. And then I heard him sing, and I just waited for the right time.
Yeah.
But you can tell them about your experience with us.
Yeah, I guess it was, well, we played a lot with Heroes. They played Mobile.
He was in a band called Heroes Will Be Heroes.
Yeah.
For those.
And then that fizzled out, and then we did Through Fallen Skies, which turned into The Advocate. And we played a bunch of shows, and then we did like a quick tour, I think.
Together. Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling the Through Fallen Skies stuff because they were trying to go way heavier than I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was always big on like, you gotta have singing parts because people want to sing regardless, right?
For sure.
And I remember telling him that at one of the shows we played.
And I was like, well, I got a position for you.
And I had quit that band, and had like no plan. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And jokingly, I text Trent and said, "Hey, when are you gonna kick out your bass player?" And, let me play with you?" And he said, "It's funny you say that. Text Carlos right now."
And all that to say is we didn't kick anybody out.
No,
but it was the perfect timing because again, I told you and here's the thing that you got to know about us. Like if you're gonna post this anywhere, what I want people to know is like every person that ever played in this band, we have nothing but love for, right? And we didn't kick anybody out. People were like, hey, like, I love this, but like, this is what I'm doing now, right? We're like, oh, great, you know what I'm saying? And it was that time where we had just heard from our bass player, like, hey, I have to leave, like, I'm gonna go do this thing. And so I remember getting that text message and being like, this could not be more perfect, you know? And that's how we met Chris. And I also want to say, our drummer Wes isn't here. But same thing. So we met Wes. And Wes actually booked us around these parts for the first time back when we had a different lineup.
Long time ago.
And just, you know, exactly. He's always so hilarious, so funny that we instantly all like took to him. And it wasn't long before, like, again, he went on tour with us as our merch guy. Then he's like, he was a tour manager. And then same thing, like when we had some issues with a member who needed to go home or whatever, Wes is like, you guys know how to play drums, right?
Man,
And of course we knew that. And so then he kind of took over that, and that's really how the lineup is what it is today. Where it's just a bunch of us who met each other at very different times. But that's the thing that I love talking to people about, because I know that there are people who saw us years ago with like a different lineup, like, oh, these new guys. And I'm like, literally nobody.
Every
here is
band
new.
goes through that.
You know what I mean?
Man.
But that's the thing. It's like nobody here is new. It's like I said, like 2009, 2010. You know what I mean? Like 2006.
A lot of people would consider that OG members
Same
too.
thing, exactly. 2009, 2010. Like if you go back a decade, you're not a new dude. You know what I mean? And that's sort of the thing. It's just because sometimes we'll play. We haven't done it often, but we played Houston shows, which is where we're from, without Wes and Chris, just because they live here. And it's easier to get our friends to fill in. But that's the thing is like our friends are filling in. They're actually in the band. You know? So that's kind of where we're at now.
Well, you guys were sick tonight. What's some upcoming dates you guys are gonna be playing? I know you have like 2 more shows coming up. Any new music you're working on? Like I know your last, you guys put something out last year I think it was, or something like that.
We actually put something out a couple weeks ago.
Or a couple weeks ago. That's what it was.
So to answer your question is we have an EP that we're working on. It's called Hypocrites. We put out 2 songs off of it on April 7th. One of them, the first song is My Silence Was a Gift, which features. The second one is Between the Grave and the Sea, which actually features Within the Ruins, Steve from Within the Ruins. And that was all real special because at one point or another, all 3 bands were on Victory. And so that was really fun. And those guys, their vocals are incredible. And we've already put out those 2 songs, but we have more, and that will be the next thing we put out, like the EP. Tomorrow night we play in Chattanooga with I'm Terrified. On Saturday we play in Birmingham, Alabama with I'm Terrified, and Across of Aprils. We're excited. We have a show in Jackson, Mississippi,
May 26th.
May 26th,
And then
and then the following day we're playing at the Pittman Festival in Gadsden, Alabama, and that's got Meadows. They're on Face Down. That's got I Am Terrified as well. Stay Lost, which is another great Birmingham band. And a ton of other bands. So that's all we have booked so far.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're like, should I get this band to play my bar mitzvah or my birthday party?
Yes.
The answer is you absolutely should. Find me on the internet.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Well, these guys are super nice. Appreciate you guys chatting with me. Any underrated bands you want to shout out real quick, or anybody from your hometown that you think deserves a little bit of recognition that kind of gets slept on or anything like that?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Empty Atlas played.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're Jackson, Mississippi,
great tonight.
super solid indie band.
Yeah.
All 4 great solid dudes, man. Like, good to hang out with, and they also make incredible music.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're all so nice. From Houston, for me, check out the Kidnap soundtrack. Check out The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
The Last Place You Look is legendary. They don't actually play anymore, but if you're watching this and you find those guys, tell them to get back together because they're awesome.
We'll play with them too, right?
Yeah, would love to. Who else? Help me out.
Empty Hands, dude.
No, I said you already said that.
I said
Empty Atlas. No, Empty Hands. They're not from Houston. I'm talking about Houston
I'm
bands.
just saying empty hands.
Check out Empty
Hands,
Hands.
yeah.
Check out Empty Hands, which Chris happens to be in.
Yep.
No big deal.
And West.
And West.
Yep.
West.
Not here.
Yeah.
As for current bands in Houston, we're so far removed from the music scene
Yeah.
in Houston. Like we ask to play shows because we think it'll be fun, or we ask somebody to book us in Houston, or we book a show in Houston because we think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But local bands, we don't know.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Well, at least
But-
there's nothing wrong with that.
But
We
that reminded me.
Yeah,
Reminded me.
when you're a dad, you just
If you listen to indie stuff, pop punk, check out Margins.
Okay.
They're great.
Margins.
My buddy Luke is in that band, and the thing about that band is that not only are they good, but he's like an awesome human being, and he also books shows too. So like if you're ever trying to come through Houston, please don't message me. Message Luke at Gulf Coast Booking on the internet. He'll hook you up because I'm an old man and I don't know where anything is anymore. All right, I just go where people invite me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Luke's, we're playing,
yeah.
we're playing with a band in Chattanooga tomorrow named Suitor.
Okay.
Definitely check them out.
They're from that area, the Chattanooga, Georgia area.
I think they're from Georgia. I think they're from Atlanta, and their vocalist is immaculate.
Okay.
You gotta go check out whatever their new single is because I've heard it and I was so jealous
Check
that
them
I don't
out,
sound
yeah.
like that. You gotta go check that out. I Am Terrified.
Yep.
I don't know why that band isn't huge.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
and our hope is that they'll get there
Yeah.
and they'll let us open up for them
Yeah.
for the rest of their lives.
Well,
Andrew, you gotta offer something up. Come on.
Man, I haven't seen.
Close your eyes. Go check out.
close your eyes.
Yeah, of course, go check out Close Your Eyes, but nobody doesn't know about Close Your Eyes.
Yeah.
But I want to say, hey Shane, if you're listening to this, your babies are beautiful, and thank you for being on the song that you did with me. I want you to know that I nailed that part tonight,
Fuck
that
yeah.
you weren't there, and I'm very sad.
He did though. He did.
Steve, thanks, buddy. Text me back, bro. I miss you.
Well, I appreciate you guys chatting with me. I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't want to hold you guys too long. Safe travels in the rest of your dates, man. And yeah, thanks for the interview, dude. I really
Thanks for
appreciate you
showing up,
guys.
man. Thanks for hanging out.
it.
Thank you so much.